Listen, there comes a point in your life when you've cried enough tears, made enough excuses, and replayed the same story over and over again. It's time to stop letting your past define your future. It's time to rise up and say, enough is enough. You've been carrying that pain, that disappointment, that betrayal for far too long. It's heavy, it's draining, and it's keeping you from stepping into your greatness. You can't heal while holding on to what hurt you. You can't move forward while staring in the rearview mirror. The longer you hold on to it, the more power it has over you. But the moment you decide, I'm done being a prisoner of my past, that's the moment everything begins to change. You see, life doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It moves with or without you. So you've got to make a decision right here, right now, that you're done being stuck, done being bitter, done letting what happened define what's next. Because the truth is, your future is waiting for you to get over it. Not because it wasn't painful, not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more. This is your time to break free, to release, to forgive, not for them, but for you. It's time to take that pain and turn it into power. It's time to turn your wounds into wisdom. It's time to rise up and reclaim your story. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and declare it out loud. It's time to get over it and get on with my destiny. Stop letting your past define your future, because every day you wake up is another chance to rewrite your story. Too many people are chained to memories that no longer serve them, dragging yesterday's pain into tomorrow's possibilities. The mistakes you made, the opportunities you missed, the people who hurt you, none of that has the right to dictate who you become. Your past is a lesson, not a life sentence. You've got to understand that growth is impossible if you keep living in the shadow of what once was. The things that broke you were never meant to bury you. They were meant to build strength, wisdom, and resilience inside you. Every scar you carry is proof that you survived something that could have destroyed you. And that survival is not weakness. It's evidence of your power. When you keep replaying old events, you give energy to moments that are already over. The mind is powerful, and what you feed it will grow. If you constantly feed it with regret, guilt, or resentment, you'll find yourself trapped in cycles that steal your joy and your purpose. But if you feed it with vision, faith, and determination, your focus begins to shift. You stop saying, I wish things were different, and start saying, I will make things different. Your past is simply data. It tells you what didn't work, who you can trust, and what you need to do better next time. It doesn't define your identity. It refines your direction. The world doesn't care about what happened behind you. It only cares about how you move forward from it. There are people who let one failure stop them from ever trying again, who let one heartbreak close their heart forever, who let one rejection silence their dreams. But if you want to rise, you must be willing to let go of the weight. The past can't be changed, but your response to it can be transformed. You can either remain a prisoner of what hurt you, or become a student of what it taught you. Every disappointment carries a hidden message that pushes you toward a higher level of strength and self-awareness. The key is to stop identifying with your pain and start identifying with your potential. You are not the sum of your mistakes. You are the sum of the lessons you've learned and the courage you've gained. Sometimes you've got to forgive yourself for not knowing better before you learn better. You've got to stop blaming yourself for the time you lost, the choices you made, or the chances you didn't take. The future doesn't live in your past. It lives in your decisions today. And every time you choose to move forward, you weaken the power of what once held you back. The moment you stop giving your past permission to define you is the moment you become unstoppable. Because now your energy is focused on creation, not correction. Let go of the old chapters so the new ones can begin to unfold. Because what's ahead of you will always be greater than what's behind you. Release the pain and reclaim your power, because the longer you hold on to what hurt you, the more control it has over your life. Pain is heavy. It takes up space in your heart, clouds your thoughts, and drains your energy. You cannot move into the future still carrying the weight of yesterday's wounds. The truth is, pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice. You don't have to keep reliving the same heartbreak, betrayal, or disappointment. The moment you decide to release it, you begin to take your power back. Holding on doesn't change what happened. It only keeps you stuck in a cycle of emotional exhaustion. The past can't be rewritten, but your response to it can be redefined. When you choose to let go, you create room for healing, for clarity, and for peace to take root within you. Pain is a teacher, not a master. It comes to show you where you were broken, but it's not meant to keep you there. Many people hold on to pain because it feels familiar, and familiarity can be comforting even when it's toxic. But you can't step into greatness while nurturing your wounds. Every time you replay what someone did to you, give them free rent in your mind. Every time you dwell on what went wrong, you rob yourself of the joy that could be right in front of you. Reclaiming your power means refusing to be defined by what tried to destroy you. It means taking responsibility for your healing, even when you didn't cause the hurt. It means deciding that your peace matters more than your pain. When you release the pain, you begin to see life differently. The same situation that once broke you now becomes the reason you're stronger. You start to understand that forgiveness is not about excusing what was done, but about freeing yourself from the poison of resentment. You realize that your energy is sacred, and you won't waste it replaying old battles. The pain once silenced you, but now it becomes the fire that fuels your purpose. Every challenge, every tear, every disappointment has shaped you into someone more powerful than you were before. And that power grows the moment you stop waiting for closure from others and decide to give it to yourself. Reclaiming your power means choosing peace over bitterness, growth over guilt, and freedom over fear. It's standing tall and saying, I may have been hurt, but I am not broken. I may have been betrayed, but I am not defeated. You reclaim your power by no longer giving your emotions away to situations you can't control. You do it by focusing on what you can build instead of what was destroyed. Every breath, every heartbeat, every new day is an invitation to rise again stronger, wiser, and more determined than before. Your healing is not about forgetting. It's about remembering without pain. That's when you know you've reclaimed your power. When your scars remind you of how far you've come, not how much you've lost. Forgive not for others, but for yourself. Because forgiveness is not about letting someone else off the hook. It's about setting yourself free from the prison of pain. Holding on to anger and resentment might feel justified, but it slowly poisons your spirit. It traps you in a cycle of bitterness that steals your peace, your joy, and your energy. Forgiveness doesn't mean that what they did was right or that it didn't hurt. It means you've decided not to let it control you anymore. When you refuse to forgive, you keep replaying the same moment over and over, keeping the wound fresh instead of letting it heal. But when you forgive, you take back the power you unknowingly gave away. You choose peace over revenge, healing over hate, and freedom over emotional captivity. Forgiveness is an act of strength, not weakness. It takes courage to release the pain when every part of you wants to hold on to it. People often think forgiving means forgetting, but that's not true. Forgiveness means you remember differently. You see the lesson, not just the hurt. You begin to understand that the situation shaped you, refined you, and prepared you for something greater. The anger you've been holding becomes a burden that keeps you from moving forward. And once you let it go, you'll feel a lightness that words can't describe. You're no longer carrying someone else's mistakes on your shoulders. You're reclaiming your peace, your sanity, and your strength. Many people hold on to unforgiveness thinking it punishes the other person, but it only punishes the one holding it. The person hurt you may have moved on, but you're still reliving the pain every day. That's why forgiveness is not a gift to them. It's a gift to you. It's choosing to no longer be defined by what someone else did. It's looking at the scars and saying, you may have hurt me, but you didn't destroy me. Every time you forgive, you release a piece of the pain, and at every release you rise higher. You begin to see that your heart is stronger than the hurt, and your peace is more valuable than your pride. Forgiving yourself is just as important as forgiving others. Sometimes the hardest person to forgive is the one staring back at you in the mirror. You've got to release the guilt, the shame, and the regret. You can't grow if you keep punishing yourself for who you used to be. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time, and now you know better. Let that be enough. Forgive yourself for not seeing the red flags, for staying too long, for trusting too easily, for breaking your own boundaries. Self-forgiveness is how you reclaim your inner peace and open the door to new beginnings. When you choose forgiveness, you break the cycle of pain that has kept you bound for too long, and you finally allow your heart to heal and your soul to breathe again. Turn your wounds into wisdom, because every pain you've endured carries a lesson that can shape your destiny if you're willing to learn from it. Life doesn't waste experiences, not even the painful ones. The betrayal that broke your trust, the failure that crushed your confidence, the loss that left you empty, all of it can become the foundation of your strength if you choose to see it that way. Wounds are not signs of weakness. They are evidence that you've lived, that you've fought, and that you've survived. The world is full of people who've been hurt, but only a few turn that hurt into healing power. The difference lies in perspective. You can either let your wounds define you or let them refine you. Every time you choose to rise after being broken, you are turning pain into purpose. Wisdom doesn't come from comfort, it's born from struggle. It's the nights you cried, but still woke up the next morning to keep going. It's the rejection that pushed you to discover your true worth. It's the mistakes that taught you who you are and what you deserve. When life wounds you, it's not to destroy you, but to awaken something greater within you. Pain sharpens your insight, deepens your compassion, and teaches you what really matters. You begin to see through the illusions of life and value peace over popularity, growth over approval, purpose over comfort. You stop asking, "Why did this happen to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" That shift turns suffering into strength and chaos into clarity. Every scar you carry tells a story of endurance. It's proof that you faced something that once seemed impossible and came out stronger. When you hide your wounds, you hide your wisdom. But when you embrace them, they become your testimony. They allow you to help others heal, to speak life into those who are still bleeding where you've already healed. Your story has power, and someone out there needs the wisdom your pain has produced. The moments that hurt the most often become the moments that define your purpose the clearest. Pain has a strange way of carving out the space where your greatness is meant to grow. Turning wounds into wisdom also means refusing to stay bitter. Bitterness keeps you bound to the past, but wisdom uses the past as a stepping stone toward growth. When you look back and see how far you've come, you begin to appreciate every struggle for the strength it built in you. You stop wishing things had been easier and start being grateful for how they made you wiser. You realize that you wouldn't have developed your character, your faith, or your resilience without the very things that once broke you. The wound may have changed you, but wisdom teaches you to let it change you for the better, not the bitter. When you choose to learn instead of linger, to rise instead of resent, your wounds transform into the wisdom that lights your path forward. Make a decision to move forward now, because waiting for the perfect moment only keeps you stuck in the same place. There will never be a time when everything feels right, when all the fears disappear, or when the path is completely clear. Progress begins the moment you decide that staying where you are is no longer an option. You have to make a choice to stop living in hesitation, to stop replaying what could have been, and to start building what can be. Life rewards movement, not excuses. Every step you take, no matter how small, breaks the chains of stagnation. The moment you make that decision in your heart, something shifts inside you. Your focus sharpens, your confidence grows, and your energy aligns with your purpose. Nothing changes until you do. Too many people wait for signs, for approval, for clarity. But success doesn't wait for comfort. It waits for commitment. The longer you hesitate, the more your dreams fade into the background of fear and doubt. But when you make the decision to move forward, doors begin to open that you never even saw before. Momentum creates miracles. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You just have to trust that each step will lead you where you're meant to go. Every breakthrough begins with one decision: to stop looking back, to stop second guessing, and to start acting with faith. Moving forward means leaving behind what no longer serves you, even if it's familiar. even if it's hard. Comfort zones feel safe, but nothing grows there. The decision to move forward requires courage because it means letting go of control. It means believing that even if you stumble, you'll find your balance again. It means embracing uncertainty with the conviction that something better is waiting ahead. You can't step into new opportunities while clinging to old fears. Every time you choose movement over paralysis, you strengthen your belief in yourself. You begin to realize that progress is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You may not have all the answers, but you have the strength to begin. The first step is always the hardest because it demands faith over logic. But once you take it, the next ones become easier because momentum builds confidence. Moving forward doesn't mean you forget your past. It means you refuse to live in it. It means learning from the pain, taking the lessons, and using them as fuel to propel you into your next chapter. Life is too short to keep waiting for things to get easier. Instead, you must get stronger. Every dream inside you is waiting for you to say yes, to choose action over excuses, growth over fear, and purpose over comfort. The power to change your life doesn't come from wishing or hoping. It comes from deciding. The moment you make that decision to move forward now, you align yourself with possibility, and everything begins to shift in your favor. Declare your freedom and walk into your destiny, because the moment you decide to stop living in limitation, your entire life begins to change. Freedom doesn't start when your circumstances shift. It starts when your mindset does. You've been bound by fear, doubt, opinions, and the weight of the past for too long. It's time to break those invisible chains and rise into the person you were created to be. Freedom means you no longer allow your mistakes to define you or your failures to confine you. It means you stop asking for permission to live your purpose and start owning your power. The world may have labeled you, underestimated you, and counted you out, but destiny doesn't need their approval. It only needs your decision. When you declare your freedom, you reclaim your identity. You stop trying to fit into boxes that were never meant for you and start walking boldly in your truth. You stop apologizing for your light and start shining unapologetically. Destiny requires courage because it calls you to step away from what's familiar and walk by faith into what's unknown. You can't walk into your destiny while holding on to the chains of insecurity or fear. You must release what no longer serves you so you can make room for what's meant for you. Freedom begins when you understand that you are not a victim of your circumstances, but a vessel of purpose. You were born with greatness inside you, and it's time to let that greatness rise. Walking into your destiny means aligning with your divine assignment. It means listening to the quiet voice within that says, there's more for you than this. It means trusting that the same power that got you through your darkest nights will lead you into your brightest days. You can't allow the opinions of others to dictate the direction of your life. People may not understand your journey because it wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Freedom is about walking in obedience to your calling, even when others doubt your vision. Every step you take in faith weakens the hold of fear. Every declaration you make in confidence silences the voice of doubt. Your destiny is not ahead of you. It's inside of you, waiting to be awakened. But it cannot emerge until you declare your freedom from the thoughts that tell you you're not enough, from the patterns that keep you small, and from the memories that whisper you can't change. When you rise and say, I am free, you take ownership of your life. You begin to live intentionally, love fully, and move boldly. The chains of the past lose their power the moment you decide you're done being bound. Freedom is your birthright, and destiny is your destination. You were never meant to merely survive. You were meant to soar. And when you finally declare your freedom, nothing and no one can stop you from walking into the life that was always meant to be yours. Network connection lost. Attempting to reconnect your life will always present pain, disappointment, and challenges. But the true test of strength is not in what happens to you. It's in how you respond. You are not defined by your past, your wounds, or your failures. You are defined by your decision to rise again. Every moment of heartbreak, every closed door, and every tear you've cried has been preparing you for a greater purpose. When you release the pain, forgive yourself and others, and turn your wounds into wisdom, you step into a new level of freedom. that no one can take away from you. The past may have shaped you, but it does not control you. The future belongs to those who dare to move forward, even when it hurts, and declare that they are ready to walk in purpose. Now is your moment to break free from everything that has held you back. Let go of fear, silence your doubts, and rise into the person you were always meant to be. You have the power to create a new story, to claim your destiny, and to live with boldness and faith. The world doesn't need another person trapped in regret. It needs someone who's willing to rise and lead with courage. Declare your freedom, embrace your strength, and walk forward with vision and determination. Your time is now, your breakthrough is waiting, and your destiny is calling.